The factory worker's wrench froze mid-turn as he heard the pilot's words echo across the Buffalo assembly floor. "I'm not flying that death trap." It was March 1942, and another test pilot had just refused to fly the Bell P-39 Airacobra, the fifth refusal that week. The aircraft sat gleaming under the hangar lights, its fresh paint still drying on the distinctive mid-engine fuselage. Everything about it looked revolutionary, from its tricycle landing gear to its nose-mounted 37mm cannon. But to the men who were supposed to fly it, this revolutionary design had another name: the flying coffin. The rejection came at a terrible time. America desperately needed fighters, and factories in Buffalo were running 3 shifts, 7 days a week, trying to build enough planes to turn the tide against Germany and Japan. Yet here was a brand new fighter that nobody wanted to fly. British pilots had tested it and canceled their orders. The French never received theirs before their country fell. American pilots took one look at its specifications and requested transfers to other aircraft. Even Bell's own test pilots were having second thoughts. At first, the P-39 seemed perfect, sleek, modern, and heavily armed. Its 37mm cannon could punch through armor like tissue paper. Bell's engineers had placed the Allison engine behind the pilot to create ideal weight distribution and free up space in the nose for that massive cannon. A long drive shaft ran beneath the cockpit floor, connecting the rear engine to the front propeller through a complex series of gears and bearings. In theory, it was brilliant. In reality, it was a disaster. The drive shaft caused severe vibrations that made precision flying nearly impossible. Pilots described it as sitting on top of a washing machine running at full speed. Worse, the engine's position meant that any mechanical failure sent metal fragments and flames directly toward the cockpit. In conventional fighters, engine trouble happened in front of the pilot, where it could be seen and managed. In the P-39, it happened behind them, often without warning, until fire licked at their backs.
The most damning flaw revealed itself during climb tests. The Allison V1710 engine, powerful at low altitude, choked and wheezed above 12,000 feet. This wasn't a minor issue, it was fatal. German Bf-109s cruised comfortably at 25,000 feet, and Japanese Zeros could reach even higher. A P-39 pilot trying to intercept enemy bombers would find himself struggling for altitude while enemy fighters dove down with speed and positional advantage. Colonel Bruce Holloway, who evaluated the aircraft in early 1942, wrote a scathing report. "The aircraft is fundamentally unsuited for the high-altitude interception role for which it was designed. Its ceiling is inadequate. Its rate of climb is poor above 10,000 feet, and its handling characteristics at altitude are dangerous." His conclusion was simple: the P-39 should not be used in combat. Ordinarily, that would have ended the program, but wartime production was anything but ordinary. The U.S. was still recovering from Pearl Harbor. Factories were being built, workers trained, and production lines set up. Canceling the P-39 meant shutting down an entire operation and starting from scratch, time America couldn't afford to lose. So the factories kept running, churning out hundreds of fighters that nobody wanted. By spring 1942, rows of unwanted P-39s sat idle in storage fields across the U.S., gathering dust as the war raged on. Then came an unexpected solution: the Soviet Union. Desperate for weapons of any kind, Stalin's government urgently requested aircraft, tanks, and supplies through the Lend-Lease program. American officials, eager to help their ally and quietly dispose of a problem, sent hundreds of P-39s. Many in Washington viewed it as a convenient way to fulfill obligations while getting rid of a design their own pilots refused to fly. If the Soviets could make use of them, fine. If not, at least American pilots wouldn't die in them. The P-39s took a long, dangerous route, by ship to Persian Gulf ports, then overland through Iran into southern Russia. Many were damaged in transit, and some were lost to German U-boats. But by late 1942, the first Airacobras reached Soviet bases, where they were received with surprising enthusiasm. Soviet pilots didn't care about high-altitude performance. They fought almost entirely below 10,000 feet. Their air war was brutal, chaotic, and low to the ground. Dive bombers, tank busters, and dogfights at treetop height. In that environment, the P-39's Allison engine performed perfectly.
Pilots accustomed to flying underpowered wooden Soviet fighters like the Lag-3 found the Airacobra a revelation. Its 37mm cannon could rip a German bomber apart with a single hit, and its sturdy frame could absorb damage that would have destroyed lighter aircraft. Senior Lieutenant Grigory Rechkalov, one of the first to fly the Airacobra in combat, wrote that, "The American machine is heavy but solid. It does not climb well, but it dives like a stone. The cannon is magnificent. Today I destroyed a Junkers J-88 with 3 shells." He added, "This aircraft rewards aggression and punishes hesitation." That philosophy, rewarding aggression and punishing hesitation, became the foundation of Soviet Airacobra tactics. Pilots used its strengths, diving fast, hitting hard, and escaping before the enemy could react. In the hands of men who understood it, the flying Coffin became a lethal predator. The pilot who mastered it best was Alexander Ivanovich Pokrishkin. Born in 1913, he began the war flying obsolete fighters and struggling against superior German planes. When he transitioned to the P-39 in 1943, he instantly saw its potential. He developed a tactical doctrine he called the Formula for Air Combat, emphasizing speed, altitude advantage, and precision gunnery. His units patrolled around 15,000 feet, dove on targets, fired at close range, and climbed away before the enemy could counterattack. The results were devastating. By the Battle of Kursk in July 1943, Pokrishkin was the top Soviet ace, and his Airacobra unit was among the most effective on the Eastern Front. German pilots even warned each other over the radio, "Achtung, Pokrishkin in der Luft," or "Pokrishkin is in the air." At Kursk, the Airacobra's low-altitude power and heavy cannon proved perfect for shooting down Stuka dive bombers and ground-attack aircraft. Pokrishkin's regiment claimed over 100 kills in the first week alone. His personal score reached 23 kills that month. Reports of the P-39's success shocked American intelligence. How could the same aircraft their own pilots had rejected be performing so well in Soviet service? Many dismissed the reports as propaganda, until requests started coming in from Moscow for more P-39s, not Mustangs or Thunderbolts, but Airacobras.
By 1944, thousands of P-39s were flying with Soviet markings. Pokrishkin ended the war with 59 confirmed kills, making him the second highest-scoring Allied ace after Ivan Kojedub. In his memoirs, he wrote, "The American machine taught me everything important about air combat. It rewarded skill and punished mistakes. It gave me the tools to survive and the weapons to destroy my enemies." Meanwhile, Bell engineers back in the U.S. studied the aircraft's mixed legacy. The P-39's flaws had been costly, but its innovations were valuable. The tricycle landing gear, once mocked, proved vastly superior to older taildragger designs, giving pilots better visibility and easier handling. Its cockpit layout influenced future aircraft design. Bell incorporated these lessons into the P-63 King Cobra, an improved model that saw little American use but became another Soviet favorite. More importantly, the P-39's influence extended into the jet age. Designers like Clarence Kelly Johnson at Lockheed borrowed ideas, tricycle gear, rear-mounted engines, and improved pilot visibility for the P-80 Shooting Star, America's first operational jet fighter. The P-39's failures taught engineers about supercharging and high-altitude performance. Its successes taught them to match design to mission. By war end, over 4,700 P-39s had been delivered to the USSR, nearly half of all produced. They flew from Stalingrad to Berlin, destroying thousands of German aircraft. The flying Coffin had become an instrument of victory. The Buffalo production lines shut down in August 1944 after building 9,584 aircraft. The workers who built them likely never knew their creations had helped win the air war on the Eastern Front. By 1950, the P-39 was gone from military service, replaced by jets. Most were scrapped, though a few survive in museums. Their placards often read, "An unsuccessful design that found unexpected success in Soviet service." But that simple summary misses the deeper truth. The P-39 story isn't just about failure or redemption, it's about evolution. It showed that success depends on context, that innovation often emerges from mistakes, and that a rejected design can still shape the future. The P-39 Airacobra, the fighter that nobody wanted, ended up teaching the world's leading aviation designers everything they needed to know about building the next generation of aircraft. Its flaws revealed crucial weaknesses in American design philosophy. Its strengths, proven in Soviet hands, demonstrated the importance of adapting machines to missions. And its legacy lived on in every jet that followed. The flying Coffin became, in the end, the unlikely foundation of American air superiority in the jet age.